right, guys, we're going to finish up chapter 7. We have completed all the sections, and now you're going to take your quiz over the second half of the chapter, 7.4 through 7.7. All right, a couple things I want you to remember as we get ready for this review is, number one, you need to know the difference between a pyramid and a prism. Remember that a pyramid will come to a central point at the top, and a prism has the same base as it does on the top and the bottom, and it will either be triangular, rectangular, prism. And all of our pyramids will either be triangular or square. All right? Know the formulas to find surface area of both prisms and pyramids. Know how to count the faces, edges, and vertices of pyramids and prisms. If you don't know how to count those, then you won't be able to figure out surface area. All right, so those are all important things. All right, so let's go ahead and let's start off by counting faces, edges, and vertices. All right, when you look at this first shape, okay, I want you to remember it's got a triangular base, all right? And then it's going to have, because it has a triangle for the base, all right, when you're thinking about that, a triangle, I want you to think that a pyramid is going to have triangles off of each side of your base. And then we're going to pull all those triangles up to a point. So if I have a triangle that I'm going to have for a base, then I'm going to have 3 triangles going around that will be pulled up to a certain point. So how many faces is that? Right, it's 4 faces. All right, now you've got to think about your edges. How many edges is that? Well, you've got 3 on the bottom, and then you have 3 going around the side. So we're going to have 6 edges. And then our vertices are all of our points where it comes to a point. Corners, if you want to think about it. All right, so we have 3 on the bottom and we have 1 on the top. So that gives us 4 vertices. All right, when we look at this next shape, again, I want you to think about what's on the bottom. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides on the bottom. That means I have, it's a hexagon. All right, that's what we're talking about, is a hexagon. All right, so when we're thinking about faces, we're thinking of flat surfaces. So I have a top and a bottom, and how many little side panels do I have? 6. So 6 plus the top makes 7, plus the bottom makes 8. I have 8 faces. Okay, now edges. How many line segments is it going to take to make this shape? When you're thinking of edges, I want you to think of line segments. Well, if it's a hexagon, it took 6 line segments to make the bottom. That means it's going to take 6 to make the top. So we're already at 12. Well, then I have my connecting lines, 6 of those. So my edges are going to be 6 times 3, which is 18. I have 18 edges. Now, when I'm thinking about my vertices, I'm thinking about the points or the corners. Well, if I look at my bottom shape again, that's a hexagon. There's 6 points there. That means there will be 6 on the top. So 6 plus 6 is 12. And there's really a good exercise if that's a struggle for you, counting faces, vertices, and edges. Go to IXL and use the practice there. All right. Now we're going to find surface area. That means we have to find the area of each face and then add them together. All right, so we have a rectangular prism, and it's a prism because it's flat on the top and flat on the bottom. All right, so let's go ahead and let's count up our number of faces first. All right, so we're going to find our number of faces. I have a top and a bottom, so that's 2. And because it's a rectangle, I have 4 sides. So 4 plus 2 is 6. I have 6 faces. So I'm going to label them top, bottom, front, back, and then my long, narrow sides. All right, and since I'm dealing with rectangles, I'm going to be using the formula length times width. All right, so I'm going to go across the bottom. It's 4 by 1, so 4 times 1. That means my top and my bottom are the same. Then if I look at the front of the box, and this is what I mean by the front, this panel right here, I know it's 4 across and it is 5 high. So my front and my back are both 4 times 5. Then my sides, and my sides are these long, narrow sides. If you think about a cereal box, those long sides on your cereal box. Well, I can look at this, and those are 1 by 5, or 1 times 5. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to add up, or multiply first, all my numbers, lining up carefully, everything. And then I add all those together, and that will give me my surface area. 4 and 4 is 8. 8 and 5 is 13. 13 and 5 is 18. 2 and 1 is 5. So my answer is going to be 58 centimeters squared. My surface area is equal to 58 centimeters squared. All right, let's do this one now. This is called a triangular prism, and they lay it on its side so you can see, even though the base is this shape right here, this is the base, they're laying it on its side so you can see it, okay? So my top, or my bottom, and my top are both triangles. But the other panels, if we were to go in, the other panels are not triangles. What are they? Look at that. They're parallelograms, or they're rectangles or squares, but they are not triangles. So I'm going to be using 2 different formulas here. I'm going to be using the formula for a triangle, and I'm going to be using the formula for a rectangle. All right, so let's go ahead and decide how many faces we have. Since it's a triangular base and top, that's 2, right? And a triangle has 3 sides, so I'm going to have 3 parallelograms, or 3 rectangles off of that. So 3 plus 2 is 5. I have 5 faces. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll call it our top and bottom. Those will be our triangles. And then we have 3 sides. Now, do not assume that all your sides will be the same, okay? Do not assume that. You have to look at your numbers carefully. All right, so for my triangles, I know my formula is going to be 1/2 of the base, which is 8, times the height, which is 3. So my bottom will be the same, 1/2 of 8 times 3. Now let's look at our sides, okay? Let's look at our sides. This side right here, it already tells me it's 5 right here, and I know it's 4 across. So I know it's going to be 5 times 4. Well, the other side is the same. 5 here, and it's got the same base, so it's 5 times 4. But this square that's laying right here on the bottom, okay, that one right there, I already know this side is 8 and this side is 4. So it is 8 times 4. So you have to be careful there. Now, because I'm running out of space, I'm going to bring my numbers over here and add them up. 1/2 of 8 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. I have 2 12s. Then my 2 sides are 5 times 4 and 5 times 4. And my last side is 8 times 4, 32. Now all we have to do is add them up. All right, I made sure I had 5 numbers to add because I have 5 faces. So 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 plus 2 is 6. 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 plus 2 is 6, 6 plus 3 is 9. And I am measuring in inches, and because it's area, it will always be squared. So our surface area is 96 inches squared. All right, now they're also going to give you pyramids. And remember, they're trying to make this a little easier on us on the pyramids. If you have a square pyramid or a triangular pyramid, it does not matter. All of your triangles will be the same. And you will only have squares and triangles for the bases, okay? So keep that in mind. All right, let's go ahead and come up with our number of faces. All right, our number of faces. Sorry about that. Okay, our number of faces for this pyramid. I have a square bottom. So if I have a square for my base, how many triangles will I have coming off of it? You're going to have 4. 4 triangles. All right, so 4 plus the base will be 5, right? I'm going to have 5 faces. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to have the bottom, and we're going to have the side. And remember, we said we have 4 sides. Once I figure out what one side is, this is the beauty of the pyramids, is all the sides will be the same. So I don't need to do all that math. One time I've done it, I can just write that number down 4 times. Okay, so for my bottom, since it's a square, it's side times side. And if this side is 6, that means the other side is 6. So we have 6 times 6. Then I have my side. My side is a triangle, so it's going to be 1/2 of my base, which I already know is 6, times my height, which is 9. And that's what it's going to be all the way down. Once I figured that out, because they told us that they were going to give us the consistent sides in the pyramids. All right? So we can go through now and we can add this up. 6 times 6 is 36. 1/2 of 6 is 3, and 3 times 9 is 27. And I'm going to write 27 4 times because I had 4 triangles. And then I can add it together. Now, when I'm doing this, when I have a repetitive number, a lot of times I will just multiply them. I'll say, 7 times 4 is 28. 28 plus 6 is 34. So I'll carry my 3. Again, I have 4 2's. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. 11 plus 3 is 14. Okay, so what is my surface area equal to? It's equal to 144 feet squared. All right, now let's look at our next pyramid. It has the triangular base. So that means I only have to use one formula. I'm going to use 1/2 of the base times the height for every side. And because it is a triangle base, how many triangles can I have? Well, 1, 2, 3. I can only have 3 triangles. I know my drawings aren't great. 3 triangles. So altogether, I have 4 faces. All right, so let's get our first one. Our bottom one is going to be 1/2 of 8, and it's telling me the height is 7. Then my 3 sides, okay, are going to be 1/2 of 8 times 11. And I'm going to have that 3 times. Okay, 1/2 of 8 is 4. What's 4 times 7? 28. 1/2 of 8 is 4. What's 4 times 11? 44. And I'm going to write that 3 times. And then I'm going to add them together. I have 3 4s. That's 12 and 8. That gives you 20. I have 3 4s again. 12 plus 2, 14 plus 2 is 16. All right, I'm going to come over here because I'm running out of room. My surface area is going to be 160 centimeters squared. All right, now this last one I want you to pay close attention to because they're going to give you one like this on your quiz. Make a note on what to do. It's going to be the last question on your quiz, all right? They're going to ask you to find the missing dimension, and then they're going to ask you to convert the missing number to yards. And they're going to give it to you in feet. We're going to do one almost exactly like it. All right, now anytime, and this is finding volume, and I knew that because it told me right here. All right, volume. Remember what our formula is for volume is? V equals length times width times height. So let's go ahead and fill in what numbers I have. I know my volume is 216 feet cubed. All right, and it's times, I have 9, I have 6, I am missing the width. So I'm going to go ahead and simplify this. I'm going to say 216 equals, what is 9 times 6? 54 times W. I don't know what W is, but I can find it because we learned back several chapters ago in algebra that I can isolate that letter and I can find its value. And I do it by doing the opposite of what they tell me to do. Right now, when I have a number beside a letter, it means to multiply. But I'm going to do the opposite, and I'm going to divide both sides by 54. And the reason why I'm choosing 54 is because that's the number with the W. And I want W to stand alone. So my 54s cancel out here, and I have W equals. Well, then I've got to figure out how many times 54 can go into 216. All right? So you can set that up like a division problem. And what I recommend you do is just find a basic fact. I don't know how many 54s there are in there right off the bat, so I'm going to see how many 5s there are in 21. 5 will go into 21 4 times. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 1 is 21. So 54 goes into 216 4 times, and it's exact. So my answer is going to be 4 feet. Does everybody see that? But they want me to convert the feet to yards. Okay? So we're going to come over here and we're going to say, and remember, this unit is not squared. It's not, volume is cubed. It's not cubed. I am literally just changing feet to yards. We all know how to do that. All right? If you need to do your 1, 2, 3, number 1, what are we going to do first? We're going to decide if we're going to multiply or divide. If I'm going from a smaller measurement to a larger, I'm going to divide because there's smaller, yards are larger, I won't need as many. Now I need to find my special number or my conversion factor. So I always ask how many of the smaller are in the larger. How many feet are in a yard? 3. Good. So now I know I'm dividing 4 by 3. So on my third step, just do it. What is 4 divided by 3? Well, it goes in there one whole time with 1/3 left over. So my answer would be 1 1/3 yards. So when you see that on your quiz, when you take it either today or tomorrow, note that that's what they're wanting you to do. They're just wanting you to do a simple conversion. Don't complicate it. You're not squaring it and you're not cubing it. All right, guys, do a great job on your quiz. You can get on IXL and practice some more if you want, or you can play back this video and see if you can pause it and see if you can solve the equations yourself. All right.